Hi, this is Justin with More Business Today. In this video, I'm going to cover titles, the technology here is pretty straightforward. But what I wanted to do more than anything is just kind of cover some fundamental things that you need to understand about titles in order to effectively use them on your website, especially as far as the search engines go. So I'm going to scroll down under the basics. Then it has large title and small title. And the other one, it has large title as well. Now, large title by default is going to be an H1 tag. Heading 1 is what H1 stands for. And really, you want to only have one H1 tag on each page. Should be your page title. I would also note that if you look at that and you go, oh, that's way too big, I don't want it to be this big, I would leave it for now. And I'll show you why in a minute. I'm just going to copy this paragraph so that we can have another paragraph. Now, the next level, so you think about things in levels. Oops, put it at the top. Is an H2 tag. Usually it's anything other than H1. In the case of this, it makes more sense to use the H3 tag because the small tag title is automatically an H3 tag. So we skip right down to H3. It really doesn't make much difference. It's just from the standpoint of being able to easier manipulate it. I take it back. We use the H2 tag. It'll be a large title. So H2, you drag it in. It's automatically a large title. Now, there's an important note here. We don't want to highlight any text. When we make it an H2, we want to just drop it down and make it an H2. You can probably add any heading this way, just using the large title. Just start out before you change anything, then change it here. And you see it says 50 pixels here, but it's not really. As soon as you highlight the text, it shows you that it's not. And I don't recommend changing the color or the size or really anything in here for the headings. And I'll show you why in just a second. So let's say this is, one subject that's a sub-subject of the page. Then we want to add in another H2. Oh, I highlighted it. I don't want to highlight it. I don't know. H2. And then here we'll copy this over. Paste. But let's say in here we want to have another subtitle. By the way, as far as design and usability goes, having a lot of titles makes your text way easier to read. H3 by default, a small title is an H3, so we'll go ahead and use a small title. Like I said, we could select it regardless, but alright, so anyhow, so those are the H3. Now what I want to show you here is why we don't make any changes, and that's if we go to menu and design, and then we go to text style and we do customize, then it lets us select for all the H1s, all the H2s, all the H3s, all the way down to H6. You notice it has these little warnings, and the warning just says it's not even being used in the current page. So if you're trying to manipulate something here, it's not going to do anything. But H3 is used in this page, and so is H2 and H1. So now if I go, okay, well, I don't want the H1 tag is too big. I want it to be smaller. And change it here. And the beauty of this is that it'll change that tag throughout the entire site. So the only time you edit this is if you want it to be a different than another page. But good design predicates that we have things congruent throughout the site. So let's say we want to bring this up a little bit. H2. The H3 is interesting. I don't think it's bold. I'll show you here. It's 23 pixels too, I believe. Yeah, see it says 23. It's just fade. And so I make it a little bit bigger. 24. But if I click on the font type, well, I guess we can't change it so it's bold. I mean, we can bold it manually, but like I said, that goes against what I'm trying to accomplish here. You try a different tag. It might be the tag that's making it, or the font that's making it look different. And generally, you're going to have these be different colors as well. You're not going to use the same color for, you're not going to use black for everything, you know. And that's going to make a big difference as well. But anyhow, so that's, and you can see the H2 changes in both places. So you don't have to go through, if you are tweaking it manually, then one of two things is going to happen. Either the changes you make are going to disappear. So let's say I make this, let's make it blue instead, so it's real obvious. So we make it as blue. And then I come over here and say, no, I want it to be black. See, it'll change the other H2 that we didn't change, but it doesn't change the color of this one. So it makes this, puts this on an island so that you can't so it won't stay true to the rest of your site. So that's why we don't edit those. Now, by the way, I don't know. Well, let's check something else. We'll learn together here. H2 is black here. If I, but I wonder if I change the size. Yeah, the size, since we didn't edit the size, then the size still changes. Now let's see if we change it back. Let's see, do we have... It might be this first color. Let me look and see here. If we change this to something that we can see more readily. See, it changed H2 right there. We go back here, edit text, highlight it. Yeah, see, it doesn't change. There's not an easy way to bring it back in alignment. The way I would bring this back in alignment is I would actually copy the text, I'd delete it, and then I'd go into the elements and I'd add it again. This needs to, alright, the beginning is large text. Drop it in again, change it to an H2, and then paste as plain text, and then it would be reset. So that's a bit about headings. They're real important, so it's a good idea to get a handle on them. and that's why we don't change the color. So if you decide, oh, I don't want all my headings to be this color, you can change them all at once by going back to the design and text and customize. Text style and customize. Text style and customize. So, and this is for the rest of the paragraph font. And you can see you have the line height, which is generally a good idea to have. 1.5 is a good line height. You can do double spaced. You can do single spaced. 1.5 is pretty good. And font size, and then the regular font and stuff. That's how you change. And again, you're changing the text for all the site. Now, in the same respect, if I tweak the text, like I bring the size of this text up, highlight it all, and say, okay, I want this text to be 18-point font. Now, it's not going to respond to anything I do here. Well, any size thing that I do here. So if I drop the size for everybody else to 14, it'll change it down here, but it doesn't change it up here. And that might be exactly what you're after. You just have to be aware of what happens when you edit it. Then it'll do that. Or if you change the color, it'll do that. So, although I don't see, the color is done through the color palette for the text. So text on dark is a light gray, and then text on light is a black. Use a blue or whatever. So anyhow, that's all for titles. Thanks.